Oh, my loves, how are you? So, there's been a lot that's been coming in since the Divine Feminine Celibacy video. We've had lots of questions. I also, right after that video on Patreon, I was guided to do a message with the Divine Masculines. And I know I told you that I was going to come on at some point and talk about Divine Masculine celibacy. And there's some bridging information that I'm guided to share with you now before we get to that video. Okay. So when I went on to the Patreon video and opened up the energy with the Divine Masculine Collective, I could tell immediately that there was something that was wanting to be shown to the Divine Feminines that I, at that moment, was not quite able to see, but I was very well aware that something was opening. So I gave it a few days, but through that process, a bunch came to light that I'm going to share with you here right now, connected. Like I said, I believe it's a bridge between the divine feminine and divine masculines internally and externally. And it really does, some of this is going to go back to the core wound. Some is going to be now and in the present, but I'm going to give you some tips that you can work with if you feel guided. Okay. So, what came about after that video was that when I was checking in with what I wanted to talk to you all about with divine masculine celibacy, they were very adamant, like, nah, not celibacy, abstinence. And I was like, okay, I get it. To me, those two terms felt very synonymous. And I think that many of you probably have addressed those energies the same because celibacy is obviously abstaining from intercourse. And there's different vows of celibacy. Some take vows of celibacy for their entire life to stay abstinent, and some take vows of celibacy to be celibate until they get married or until they come into alignment with their divine counterpart, divine match in the physical world. So, those are sort of these energies of celibacy. And then the idea or the obviously that contains abstinence, but it can go for a lifetime, where abstaining is more generally like a choice of just choosing to abstain or be abstinent for a period of time or whatever reason is chosen, or just a part of what happens along the journey. So they, even though there are similarities and there's some crossover, there are some more defining terms. And interestingly, as I was processing this, this was brought up in the comments in the Divine Celibacy video the following day. And as I sat with it deeper, I realized that this topic wasn't just coming up for this exploration around what our intentions are and what we are choosing, but a message came through that those who have been in a state of celibacy or considering themselves celibate, but truly wanting to have an intimate relationship and partnership in the physical world, there may be some energies. And I believe this came forward because I do believe many of the sacred divine feminines in the past, whether it's this incarnation or other dimensions, or like we talked about the Atlantis Lemurian information in the last video, many of the feminines in at some point in time made a vow of celibacy to protect herself. And this is where it got deeper for me because I had literally talked to you guys about how a lot of the feminines hid and shut down a lot of their conscious creatorship or their full sexual creative power to protect themselves from when they were siphoned or used or abused or used in experimentation. And so this started to go a bit deeper for me with this realization that it wasn't just hidden, but there were also old vows that were made around celibacy. So this doesn't mean that every aspect of you has been celibate your entire life. For some of you, that may be true. But it's more important, and for the context of this video, I'm speaking about potential aspects of your energy that may be frozen or stuck in those ancient vows or any of those type of celibacy vows from other lives, even ancestrally. So this is a area or a pocket that you can choose to connect with your higher self, dive into and ask to dissolve or complete out or clear those old ancient celibacy vows if that's no longer in alignment with you. In fact, for all intents and purposes, I would encourage you to do that. And then you can start fresh here and now in the present with what you intend for yourself now. And I say that because I think that it's very, very important, regardless of what you choose, that you personally, for your own self and your own sovereignty, have access to all of your essence and energy for yourself, all of your life force, all of your conscious creatorship, as much of it as possible. You're wanting access to that for yourself, I'm assuming, if you're here with me now. Okay, so this felt like a very important piece of the puzzle. Now, with this, I think that there's slight differences, like we've talked about with celibacy or abstinence. And it feels important that you honor when, like, I was guided not to share the title of my last video, not to change it. Okay. Because that was the essence and energy I was speaking about. And we're learning something new because this is part of the process of what we do here on Harmonious Hearts. We talk about topics, we address them, and we're sort of like in this detective energy of bringing the subconscious fields into consciousness so that we can free ourselves and we can come into deeper states of internal union and embodiment of our higher self and all of our essences. So it feels important that if you find other content that talks about celibacy, that you are able to listen to it in whatever context feels correct for you. What I was guided to do, and I'm guided to share with you now, that I received guidance from my higher self was that, and you can take this, you can switch the words, you can do whatever you feel. This was my intention. I unravel, dissolve, and release any and all vows of celibacy. I choose to be abstinent in the physical world until my true match aligns with me in the physical world. I will effortlessly know when this aligns. Until then, my clear intentions and standards are to align me with my highest potential. Okay. So this felt important because I know many of you are wanting that conscious partnership and the intimacy that comes along with that. But I also know, especially based on the hundreds of comments, that many of you have been in these states of celibacy or abstinence as you're purifying yourself to align with that potential. Because as you're aligning with your highest potential, that's what aligns you with that partnership potential. Okay. So again, there's sort of this overlap. I was guided to talk to you about again. I think probably a majority of you also do have that intention instead of being celibate for your entire life, may more likely have that I want to be celibate and or abstinent until my match aligns with me. And so that's where your crossover is. And I feel like that's why many resonate with both terms. Okay. But again, I do feel that this slight difference came too light, especially over these last few days, because it is important for us to unravel and clear out and dissolve those old vows of celibacy that may be holding back or diminishing or what's the word that I want? Um, Squishing our conscious creator energy. Okay. restricting. You just want all of your energy and essence for yourself. And then whatever you choose to do with it is your business. Okay. And also, I know some of you are not choosing to be celibate or to abstain at all. And that is all okay. I'm a firm believer that your soul knows exactly what you need. And you should always honor the guidance that you are being given. Okay. And there was a few other topics that came up that I feel are important because many of you also spoke about being celibate or abstinent because of traumas. Okay. Some of this is in this life, but it could also go back, like I said, back to that core wound, those core separation wounds in the fall of the energies. Now, even if you continue to choose to be completely celibate for the rest of this life, the rest of this incarnation, I do still also encourage you to get yourself support again for any of that trauma, not because you need to go be with someone, but again, so you have your essence and energy for yourself and you do not have to continue to repeat these patterns and actually let your soul essence and energy heal through these if that resonates. Okay, loves. It feels important for you to have your energy for yourself. And again, this really boils down to you clarifying your intentions around what it is that you're actually wanting to experience this life, whether it's full and complete celibacy till the end, or whether it's celibacy until your true match, or abstinence until your true match, or again, abstinence for a time until you feel aligned and called to something else. Okay, loves. It really is your call. There isn't a right or wrong. It's just a very big topic that many feminines are experiencing, whether it's, again, like I said, by choice or by circumstances. And it felt very important to bring this about. And like I said again, the Divine Masculine Collective was really hammering it home to me that they wanted me to be aware that there was a difference. And when I sat with that deeper, I was also shown that if there are feminines who have found themselves in circumstances where her divine sacred masculine counterpart is with other feminines or has been with other feminines, or there's other feminine energy in between your connection, this old potential vow of celibacy may be an important pocket for you to look at because it may be a potential energy that is sort of how I'm seeing it as like a membrane in between the connection. And I'll also just state there may have been a very good purpose for it to be there at that time. But if this resonates, this may be the time as you align and as you're called to release and clear that membrane so that you can reopen the energy to your true connection as you feel guided. Okay, loves. And if this is something that you're wanting more support with, I'll drop my information in the pinned comment for you, as well as the Divine Feminine Celibacy video. We've also touched on the Atlantis Lemurian energies, and those can be important for some of you. I did create a playlist. I will also drop that in the pinned comment for those of you who asked. I would say the most informative video is the one around divine counterparts in Atlantis and Lemuria. I spoke about my own personal experience with that and how I sort of came about the information. And I'm feeling I'll probably go deeper into some of these subjects in the near future. So we also touched on, there was a lot of questions around masturbation during celibacy or abstinence. And I'm going to do a whole other video around that because of some of the questions around divine feminine and divine masculine energies. So stay tuned for that information coming soon. But again, I also promised you, and many of you did clarify that you would like to know more about the divine masculine's experience with celibacy, or clearly they prefer the word abstinence in most cases, and what that experience is like for them. Now, I do have some information that I've been shown and that I have received that I want to share with you, but I'm also very, very, very excited to announce that I have a friend, Connor, who is a divine sacred masculine on the journey, who has also been working very, very deeply with his own internal union energies, but he obviously carries the codes of the divine and sacred masculine. And he has agreed to come on to Harmonious Hearts and have a conversation with us and share about his experience as well as some of the downloads and codes that he has been receiving around the masculine's process within this. And we had this conversation last night, and I think that for those of you that feel resonant with that, this is going to be helpful for you on multiple levels with understanding your masculine counterpart, but also even working deeper with your own internal energies as well, which any of you here with me know this is the work that we are doing to come into those states of internal union, to hold the energies of unity, consciousness, and sacred union for ourselves and for our connection and for our planet, right? And also just more deeply embodying all of who we are. Okay, loves. Yes, internal feminine, internal masculine, higher self, human self, our heart, our inner child, any and all of those aspects, the shadow self, embracing all of who we are, all of the magnificent energy that you are as a gorgeous human being, a being of love, a being of energy here. And again, I'm very, very much looking forward to this conversation with Connor. So you're going to want to stay tuned to that. I'm guessing we'll put that out in the next few weeks, if not sooner. And I had this idea, I still have to run it past him, but I was thinking that it would be fun to record that and then have both of us be able to live premiere it and be in the comments with you, because I also have a feeling that some of you are going to want to connect with him and his information. He is doing amazing work, and we are so lucky to have his presence here with us on Harmonious Hearts. So, very excited for that. And again, thank you for your questions. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for your connection and your presence here. I know we have many new brothers and sisters here on the channel just over this past week. And I'm very grateful for your connection and camaraderie. I hope you found this video helpful. I do feel like I'm going to be talking about some more of this here on the YouTube channel and also over on my Patreon. I'll drop that information in the pinned comment. And so that all of you know, when I do post new videos on Patreon, I share that information in a post over here on YouTube. So you'll know what's coming up and about. And I'm also having a feeling that there's either going to be some group work or session work or something coming around this very deep and important topic around clearing those old vows of celibacy and anything else that we may discover that is restricting the counterparts coming together in the physical world in new and deeper ways. Okay, my love. So take this information, use it however it aligns for you. If you have questions, if you have comments, please feel free to drop those in the comments here. And again, I'll see you soon. Lots of love to you. Hope you have a beautiful day and that you found this information helpful. Take care.